and welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, India's only daily television platform for small businesses. We bring you the right information to empower you, the SME entrepreneur. Tonight on the show, I'm bringing you highlights of an exclusive conversation with the CEO of The Body Shop India, Shriti Malhotra, talking with her about the ethical and cruelty-free market as far as products and cosmetics here in India are concerned, what her advice is when it comes to Tier 3 and Tier 4 for businesses like hers and how they're excited about these markets, and also how they are encouraging and engaging with their very young workforce. Here's a hint, it's a very unique method. We will tell you more over the course of this conversation. Take a listen. Shriti, so good to have you here on the show talking about The Body Shop and talking really about how the beauty industry in India has been evolving and lessons for our entrepreneurs watching this interview. You've been with The Body Shop for about 13 odd years now, and the beauty market in India has definitely changed. Before we discuss that in depth, my first question to you really is to understand how the business, your company, has been evolving in the time that you've been with The Body Shop. What some of the biggest changes are? What your own growth has been with the company? How things have really changed?
Okay, thank you. First of all, Sunal, thank you for having me on this show. And the business of beauty, as you just talked about, the business of beauty is a very exhilarating business as we speak today. The Body Shop, when it came into India, and that was pretty much about 12-13 years ago, beauty was very different at that point of time. And the only beauty that many of us knew were soaps and talcum powders and the shampoo. And beauty was being sold over the counter. And literally The Body Shop, as a Body Shop, when we came in 12-13 years ago, we literally were the first beauty brand, international beauty brand, to set up modern beauty retail in the country. So that's the evolution of the brand since then. And we've never looked back. India has been a very different country for The Body Shop anywhere else. At the same time, it has been a country that has connected immediately with The Body Shop and all the values of The Body Shop. Remember when The Body Shop did come in, was founded by a founder, Anita Roddick. She was a human rights activist, she was an environment campaigner, and she set up the company more to do with the founding principles that she had, that business should not be just about profit. It's important to make profit, of course, but it's also about social good and about being in the community and serving the communities. And typically, that's exactly what The Body Shop has stood for, even when it came to India. We had a market which was so nascent. It's a very beautiful story. India is a very ancient country as far as beauty tradition is concerned, Ayurveda, herbal beauty and all that. But it's a very young nation for buying beauty products. So when we opened the stores, we had no lady who wanted to come and work in our store because women were not working the shop floor. We had, we had men. So men were not the metrosexual men passionate about beauty. They were the burly mustachioed men who came to do a living. So those were the times, and the business and company has moved on. We started with our first women employment. We literally had to go to the homes of women and convince their parents, their husbands, their brothers that their girl was in a safe place to work with. And those were the days that we've come. We've come a long way. It's now women occupy about 60 to 70% of our workforce. It's a huge empowerment from the women who actually enter our store wearing their saris and wearing the traditional salwar kameez and the burqas, and they come to our store, they completely transform themselves when they are become a beautiful beauty advisors, and there's a spring in their steps and there's a spark in the eye. So that's what The Body Shop is all about, empowerment.
Okay, I want to take a step back and talk about sustainable beauty care, sustainable beauty. You are a company that says that you are against animal cruelty, for instance. What really is sustainable? What really is environment friendly? What really is that space in India? How is that evolving? What does it comprise?
That space in India is a very relevant space, if I may say so. So to start with, let's talk about animal cruelty free. And we have a country which has been very sensitive as far as animal cruelty has been concerned. And as far as sustainability is concerned, it is, again, India is a beautiful story with The Body Shop. Our entire households and our entire traditions have been based on repurposing, reuse, recycling. That's how our grandmothers, our mothers and our homes are today. We repurpose everything, you know, we try to use everything to the last possible limit. So sustainability is that, to be able to reuse, repurpose, to be able to have the least impact on the environment, to be able to be responsible, to be able to be clean, to be able to also have sustainability from the point of view of residing within the community and making sure your business is not only for profit but also sustainable for the communities that you work in.
For someone watching this interview, if you were to say, this is how you talk to your customers about why they should be looking perhaps at ethical beauty or sustainable beauty, what are some of those core key ingredients they should be doing?
I would say that be responsible when you're consuming beauty, and look out instead of filling your tables with a lot of products. Really search for and come and ask for knowledge. Search for those products, few products which do a lot of things. So that's a big part of, there are two stories about it. Beauty brands would encourage the consumers to use as many beauty products as possible. On the other hand, there's also another theory which goes about skip care. You know, don't have to do so many things. Just do those few things which make the maximum impact. So that would be something that I would tell our consumers, that seek education in what beauty products you really need rather than filling up your bathrooms and your cabinets with beauty products. So that's one part of it. Second part of it, make sure that the beauty you consume does not harm anything, whether it's the environment, whether it's your skin, whether it's animals. So these are the two things that I would ask a consumer. Seek education, get to learn more, read about things, read about what is good, read about what is kind, and try to imbibe these things.
My question was more in terms of what businesses should be doing. So you as a brand, for instance, have some very high profile brand ambassadors. How has that helped you in bringing about education about what ethical beauty is?
Okay, yes. So in a country like India, the voice has to be very big. The voice has to be really resounding, because you have to reach everywhere, and there's no single one way in which you can reach the audiences. So while the Body Shop, we had a very different strategy in India where we use powerful influencers to be able to talk about the brand and to be able to take the brand voice. We make sure that other than selling beauty products, everything in our store is resonating about sustainability, about kind beauty. And if you look around the store, that's what we're talking to the consumers. When we are working in a corporate office, 60–70% of the time is spent around the communities that we work with, the businesses that we do outside the stores.
Social media is a big part of what brands like yourself are using, to talk about what it is you do. Specific to the Body Shop, how you're using social media, some of the do's and don'ts that you want to use this platform to sort of tell our viewers about.
Okay, so social media is actually the most powerful tool, as we all know that it's something that everybody's engaging with, whether it's the young, the millennials, the older generation, everybody's on social media. So at the Body Shop, that's a huge part of the business strategy, and we started social about 10 years ago when Facebook and Twitter are hardly any engines. What we've learned is that be honest and be open in social media. Say things as they are. So that's what we've learned. Say things as they are. Speak your voice. Be fun. Be exciting.
Right. I'm going to take a very quick break on that note, but we'll continue this conversation with the Body Shop India on the other side. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're with us here on the Crux tonight, an exclusive conversation with the Body Shop India. You started this interview by saying India is a very different market from some of the other markets that you're involved in, and I want to talk specifically as far as pricing is concerned. India is a very price sensitive market, but a brand like yours is necessarily priced at a point which is higher than comparative products. What's your pricing strategy for a viewer watching this interview? If you want to talk to them about how brands like yours then are also gaining that sort of scale and are also growing despite sticking to your price points, despite having that pricing strategy, what is it?
In India, there are two things. One is mass pricing. So everybody talks about India, low price in India, cheap price in India. It's actually not the case. So I would say India, there's a very fine line, but there's a difference between low pricing and value that the consumer finds in your products. Okay. So here I would really say that businesses can be successful provided you go in the consumer insight and the consumer understanding is well understood, and the value that the consumer is ready to pay. And it's not just for the brand, it's for product, it's for the format, it's for the segment, the value that he's ready to pay for that. That's where the price and product equation stands. So for the Body Shop, if I would say, we are extremely relevant today because we look at a country which is diverse, and we ensure that our pricing is also diverse. So on the north side of it, well, there are products which are very highly efficacious, driven by formulations, concentrates, serums, day creams, night creams, SPF driven. On the other side of it is a very exciting and popular and very, very reasonably priced, but at the same time, lots of flavors, lots of designs, lots of variants of the shower products, the bath products, which are everyday use products. Now, if you understand how consumers use, you will understand how to price them. If they're everyday products, make sure they're sharp, make sure they are very attractive, and make sure you are compelling and you're making it exciting for the consumer to use loads of it without feeling guilty about the price. And when it comes to investment, when it comes to efficacy, when it comes to treatment, when it comes to really taking care of those few things about your skin care and your personal care, and where they want to invest in, that's where you give them good products, give them that investment, and if it's a fair price, please charge the fair price for it.
Okay, which brings me to another question then, and that's as far as your reach outside of the metros, tier 3, tier 4, the Bharat really here. What insights can you offer about how a brand like yours is talking to those markets? Are you talking differently? Are you pricing differently? How do you engage with those markets?
It's a very old saying, but and it's a very cliched saying, but say be global and act local. So that's very, very true. As a brand, I think the Body Shop was the first brand right 12, 13 years ago that along with the metros, it also forayed into the smaller towns and cities. So we did not go like being 5 years, 6 years in metros, talking to the metro consumer. We went all out right from the beginning. We understood that there was an India present in every city, and there was a consumer present in every city, whether it was Surat, Baroda, Lucknow. We opened it along with Delhi and Mumbai. So that was the great learning experience, and the way consumers accepted that, and the way consumers were so happy that a brand is reaching out to them and being in their city. And that's the time when they came into the stores, they would love to be attended by our skincare consultants, our makeup artists, love to learn more about the brand, and they were so just thankful because nobody else was catering to them. And those are the days when we've earned the early loyalty of the consumer in India. So today, we are very proud to say that we are in more than 60 cities as far as our stores are concerned. Smaller cities, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, we are there everywhere. And we reach out through our own e-commerce. So we are one of the few companies which have our own e-commerce, which is www.thebodyshop.in. It allows us to reach up to 600, 700, 800 towns and cities across India. So we are very international. Every store of ours looks the same. But where the localization comes in is with the local teams, with the local empowerment, with the local connect, with the language. In small town cities, yes, it's important to speak English, but it's also important to speak the language of the consumer to make sure the consumer is comfortable, either talking in Punjabi or Bengali, wherever it is. And that's where which connects the local communities to you very, very strongly. So you have, we have so many consumers writing to us from all over the country, sending a note about our staff, saying that a particular lady has transformed their face, their life, and so on and so forth. So it's very heartening.
Okay. Then how about the intersection of online and offline? Like you were saying, you do have your own website, but you also have stores like this. Is it necessary for brands, even the smaller brands, to perhaps have this strategy which is both online and offline?
I would say understand your brand strategy and understand the scale that you want to get into. It really depends on how you want to recruit consumers. So for a brand like us, we are very clear that we want to recruit consumers everywhere, and we want to be where the consumer is. To be fair, all brands should be where the consumer is. And then the divide between online and offline will go away, and the battle between online and offline that we talk about will go away. When you are looking at consumers and the experience that they want in the stores, the education that they want in the store, the service that they want in the store, they will always come to a store. And they will always go through, they will always veer towards the information that they're getting, be served and taken the experience. And it's not just the store, it's also about the malls outside, where it's entertainment, where it's family, where it's, you know, engaging in a lot of other things together. So your stores are very, very important for that. But at the same time, consumers are also looking for, they're consuming digital, they're also looking at convenience, they also want to do comparison, they also want to do it when they are free, which may not be during day hours. So give them that convenience. So online is definitely for convenience and for consumers who've learned and understood the products, who've been served in the retail store. And yes, if they want a consumer convenience factor, give them the opportunity to connect with you online as well. And then the second part of online is that it helps you to connect with places where you don't have stores. So we all know that even the big metro cities, you will believe that our biggest online consumers are metro cities. And why is that? If we have 20 stores in Delhi, we still have the biggest business coming out of Delhi. And the stores are flourishing, the online business is flourishing. Why? Because there's so many parts of Delhi where we don't have stores, and that's where it allows us to reach out to those consumers.
Sure.
So it's being where the consumer is and giving him the opportunity and making him the center of the business.
Okay, your stores are also important because perhaps for a lot of your consumers, they are the face really of your brand. Which means that the store executives that you have become so important for a brand that's present in just so many countries across the world. How do you ensure that, and how are you ensuring that the training is standardized? How are you ensuring that the culture of the Body Shop is standardized no matter where you're based?
I think there's one thing that is at the core of the business. Make the Body Shop the most breathtakingly exciting place to work for. It's for them to feel energized, for them to feel passionate. Remember, they're young girls and boys, and we want them to have fun in the shop floor and not just do serious business. So it has to be about excitement. It has to be, if our store teams are excited and happy and engaged, that's when the business of the Body Shop happens with the consumers. So everywhere across the world with the Body Shop, you see the spirit, and it's not just in India, and that's what we imbibe in India as well. Of course, in India it's different. We have to work with the people because where they come from is very different from what is outside. At the Body Shop, and considering the cultural fabric of India, people who want to work in the retail stores are very differently, are from different backgrounds, and even today in our houses, we don't want children to work in the retail floor, we want them to work in the office. So remember the background that they come from. And that's something that we take very sensitively. We know that they don't come from such privileged backgrounds in India especially. That's the difference between the Body Shop anywhere else and in India. We make sure that they're empowered. We make sure that we provide them a place where they learn, they gain that confidence. And a very important role is also performed by the consumer. The consumer also needs to be kind and empathetic to these people who are coming up from different backgrounds and working in the store. And the more empathetic and kind you are to the beauty advisors and to the people you're interacting with, the store teams, that's when they get the real empowerment, and that's when they get the real confidence to go further. So I would say that India is different. It requires a lot of investment in people. It requires a lot of giving them confidence, which does not exist anywhere else. People just get onto the shop floor, work for a part-time, work for a full-time, or whatever it is.
Sure.
Here you need to educate, need to teach them how to speak, need to teach them how to communicate, need to teach them to read and write literally at times, you know, how to write emails, how to write good communication. But once they are in there, they are the most loyal teams that we have. So in India, we have in the Body Shop, actually in India, we have one of the lowest attrition rates and turnover rates anywhere in any other country. They remain with us.
Okay. As we're running out of time in this interview, I want to talk about the role that the government plays in this space. They have banned, of course, testing of cosmetics on animals, and that's been a big boost for your industry. But do you know, maybe other changes that you would like to see?
For the Body Shop, the government, as far as the government rules and regulations are concerned for the Body Shop, we've been extremely happy actually. So, you know, it was one of the first countries to ban, and one of the few countries in the world which banned testing on animals, which banned the import of products tested on animals. It has also been a country which has strongly supported animal cruelty-free products, not from the point of testing, but also in point of ingredients. So 100% vegetarian products. It was just one of the things that Body Shop was known for. But the government had a regulation also to let the consumer know that which products are 100% vegetarian and which products have animal ingredients. So there is a green dot which is the same in the food industry. It's also now for cosmetic products, and that really empowers the consumer to know what the products are all about. It's a very transparency in what the products are about, and for the Body Shop, it's really helped us because that's what we're all about. We're 100% vegetarian. Most of our products are vegan. So wherever the government is, it's been working very well to our advantage actually.
For a brand which is ethical and, you know, which is talking about ethical, talking about the kind of ingredients and products that you're using, the back end also is you're ensuring sustainable, is also working very closely with the local communities, and you do a lot by way of CSR. Maybe very quickly you could talk to our viewers about why that's crucial for you as a brand, what you're doing really when it comes to working with local communities.
The business is for social good and for communities, so that's a very important part of our founding principle, and that's what we work and live by. We've always been working with communities in various areas. So be it domestic violence, we know that as a country India is extremely sensitive to domestic violence. When we came in, the first few years were supporting communities suffering from domestic violence. We moved on to animal cruelty and looking at regulations and helping the beauty industry evolve as far as animal cruelty is concerned. Today environment is a huge concern, and we are looking at biodiversity, and we're looking at working in areas where environment needs help and protection. So there's a lot of CSR investment going in towards environment, and there are many exciting things this year coming up for the Body Shop. So I'd really encourage for the consumers to watch out for the space. Very crucial projects coming up in India.
As we've run out of time on this interview, Shruti, I do know that as a brand you're constantly innovating, launching new products. What's exciting for you at the Body Shop over the next 2 to 3 years? What do you want to leave us with?
I want to leave up with one thought, is that the business of the Body Shop is very centered around empowering women, and all the issues that are concerning women. And where the Body Shop and where we are going to work on over the next couple of years is, of course, selling great products and launching great products. That's an important part of our business. But it's also working towards feminism, women empowerment, and giving a very fair and a beautiful world for these women to live in. So that's where our next project is going to be. Towards feminism and towards women empowerment.
Okay, wish you all the very best for that.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time to join us on the show.
Thank you so much, Nanda.
Thanks.
It's been a pleasure.
We've run completely out of time on that very fascinating conversation, but if you have any feedback for us, do let us know. leadersoftomorrowtimesgroup.com is our email ID. Get in touch with us on social media. So Nanda_J is my personal Twitter handle. LOT_ET now is our official Twitter handle. You can also reach us on Facebook, Leaders of Tomorrow on ET Now. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.